return each to her mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you as ye have dealt with the dead and with me. The Lord grant you that ye may find rest, each of you in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voice and wept. I'm going to stop there. And I just want to talk briefly from the point of 2 words: move on. Yeah, that was a good sound. Just move on, please. Please just move on. For those of you who don't know too much about this scripture, and thank you for the security staff and the support staff who are here from Cathedral, I appreciate your presence. Notice here, which we have not read, but Naomi was having a good life. All right, she had a good life. She was married. She had 2 sons. The 2 sons had married 2 wives. You don't hear nothing about no chaos or no confusion or none of that stupid stuff that happens in a lot of the other stories in the Bible. They were just living a good life, all right? And Naomi, she had a good husband. First Lady, how do you know that she had a good husband? Because it says that her husband is the one who took them from a place where there was a famine, and he brought them into a place where they could be provided for, which means that there was a good man in her life who realized he needed to provide and protect his family, all right? It was a good man. So she was in a good place in her life with this good man, and she had 2 sons. And in the Bible times, having 2 sons was a great thing because they could bring wealth to your household. And they had 2 good women. It means that people could keep stuff clean and they could cook. And we was talking about the good husband providing and protecting, but the good wife was cooking and she was cleaning and she was taking care of her responsibility. So Naomi was in a good place in her life. And then all of a sudden, in the good place in her life, you'll find in verse 5 where it says that she was left, okay? She was left. She didn't have no husband. She didn't have any sons, and which meant that she didn't have the strength or the men there to provide for her household. That's how it went in the Bible times. Generally, once a woman became a widow, it became difficult for her to provide for her children. That's why you'll see the woman of Zarephath and the other widow who was there, they were always down to their last, because once the man was gone, they really didn't have a lot of resources or supply in their household. So you find Naomi in a place where she goes from everything being well to everything not being good. Many of us have faced this time in our lives ourselves where it seemed like you were in a good place, everything was going good, you had resource, you had supply, you had everything that you needed. You was singing, you was dancing, you had a few extra dollars to go out every now and then. You could buy a real purse instead of the fake purse that they sell on the street. Every so often you could buy you a real pair of real bottoms. I got one, but somebody bought them for me. I didn't have enough money. I got a kid to put through college. And so you were in a good place. And so all of a sudden, after you get to that good place, something happens to you. And now this woman, this now Naomi, who's a widow, is in a broken place. She's been left. What you have to understand is that when she got to this broken place, she decided that she was going to leave the place that she was in. One of the problems in the body of Christ is when we get to a dry place and when we get to a place where it's hopeless and we see that there's no life there, for whatever reason, we decide to stay. We'll justify staying in a broken relationship. We'll justify staying on a job that we don't like. We'll justify being broke. We'll justify being sick. We'll justify the friends that we have around us, even though you know they're not no good. You'll justify leaving a place because you don't want to leave a place in which you're comfortable. Oftentimes, it's not that you like the place that you're in. You stay in the place that you're in simply because you're comfortable being in that place. You already know what that man is going to do in that place. You know how often he cheat. You know how often he lie. You know how often he going to bring money and how often he going to take money. You'd rather stay in that situation than to be in a lonely place. I'm sorry, men, it's for the women today. So you find yourself in a spot where you decide that you're going to stay stoked because you think you know better. Even though you talk to all your friends and all your friends told you to leave them. You for some reason think that if you stay there long enough, you're going to change a man who has decided that he's not going to change a long time ago because you're letting him do the stuff that he do in your life anyway. So Naomi here does not justify staying in the place that she's in. At any time, Naomi could have said, well, my husband brought me to this place, and because my husband brought me to this place, I'm never leaving this place. At any time, Naomi could have said, my sons died in this place. This place has an emotional attachment for me. I'm not leaving this place. Naomi could have said, I'm familiar with the place that I'm in, and I would rather stay in this place than go to a new place. But instead, Naomi was smart enough to realize that there was no hope and there was no life and there would be no peace and no provision in the place that she was in. So it was best that she move on. Every once in a while, you've got to start to count the cost of the place that you're in. You've got to really think about whether or not it's worth staying there longer than you should Naomi left, right?
Go ahead, tell them something now.
But then she had to let go. What did she have to let go?
Let it go.
She's got these 2 girls with her. All right? She's got these 2 girls. She's got Ruth and Oprah with her. And she knows that the only reason why they're with her is because they were married to her sons. She realizes that she cannot give to them what she needed to give to them in order for them to be successful in their lives. Every once in a while, you have to get in a season of your life where you let some people go and see whether they're there because they love you or they're there because they're getting something from you. And a lot of times, they're never going to find out if somebody is there before because they love you or if they're there because they're getting something from you until you release them to go into another direction while you get your life together. Every so often, you got to start telling people the truth. Tell somebody that you can't give them a ride no more because you don't have gas in your car. Tell somebody that you can't sleep with them no more because you're trying to get your life together. Tell somebody that the insurance money not coming, the food stamps not coming, you don't have no direct deposit coming, and see whether they love you enough to fight through the low place with you. A lot of us are loyal to people who keeping us in low places. You're loyal to people who will take from you. You're loyal to people who will criticize you. You're loyal to people who talk about you behind your back. You're loyal to people who don't deposit nothing in your life, and then you're trying to figure out why you can't get out of the place that you're in. Every so often, you got to kiss and say goodbye to some folks, just like Naomi did here in the text. Every so often, you got to be like, baby, I love you, but I got to do something for myself. Baby, I want you to do better, but I can't help you do better unless I do better for myself. Baby, I want you to get better, but you ain't gonna get better if I can't get better myself. Many of us are killing ourselves trying to help other people before we help ourselves. You're not out of a broke place yet. How you trying to help somebody else from being broke? You haven't gotten healed yourself yet. How you trying to help somebody else get healed? You battling addiction that you've been battling for how long? How you gonna help somebody else fight the addiction that they're fighting? Every so often, if you want to know if somebody loves you, wave goodbye at them and see if they still standing there with you. Tell them that you grow. Tell them that the real information, I'm not everything that you think that I am. It took hell for me to get this myself to look like I'm looking right now. This makeup and this hair and this outfit is covering up some stuff that I need God to deliver me from in my life. And if you can still stay with me even though I don't have no money, I don't have a good thing to say, my attitude is off, I gotta take care of these kids and I gotta go back to school, then to God be the glory, we can do this thing together. But if you gotta have a whole lot of stuff, even though I'm telling you that I ain't got it, then you can go home and go wherever you need to go. Because sometimes I got to kiss and say goodbye in order to get what God has for me. The question in the house on today is how many of us are strong enough and courageous enough to tell the people who we think we need in our life that I don't need you like you think I need you. I can make it without you. As long as I got King Jesus, I don't need nobody else. Tell people the truth about what you got going on in your life, and then you'll find out who can actually hold you up, who can actually pray you through. I told my friends the other day, I don't need everybody praying me through. I need some people able to pay me through. I need you to be able to loan me money when I need it. I need you to be able to pick me up when I need to be picked up. I need you to be able to sow into my life too. I need you to be able to help my kids too. I need you to be able to give me some confidence. I need you to be able to encourage me. How many people in your life can give to you what you give to them?
Jesus.
I need everything.